All right, so you got a bunch of weight to lose, but you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way so you don't shred down and lose all of your muscle and become skinny fat. My name is Luke. I was 320 pounds in this picture. Let me get a little drawing tool out here. 320 pounds in this picture, and then just over, actually almost to the exact date, I lost 100 pounds exactly. Now, this is here about a year and a half or so later, and I'm 120 pounds down. Now, the only reason that my abs can poke through my loose skin here is because I cut down the right way. I didn't do it by doing some crazy social media like fad diet. I didn't do it by cutting out carbs completely. I didn't do it by starving myself all day and calling it intermittent fasting. I did it the right way. I did it the way that gets you the best muscle retention and get you the best results so that you don't cut down and lose all of the muscles. You cut down and you have veins in your arms like I do. You still have energy to perform at work. You still have energy to be present in your relationships after you get home, you go to the gym, and then you come back and you want to hang out with your girlfriend like I do. Now, the best way to do this, let's just jump right into it. Number one, we're going to set our macros. You're going to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Realistically, for being honest here, anything over 500 and you are going to start to run the risk of losing muscle. Okay, now there are certain things that we can do to mitigate this, but just keep that in mind for the rest of this video. Now, 500 calories would be 1 pound of tissue loss per week. I'm not saying fat because it's not always going to be fat. 2 pounds is going to be 1,000 calories in a deficit every day. All right. Now that we know the actual calories that we're going to eat, so you're going to take this, you're going to go to the description, there's going to be a link in there for a calorie calculator. You're going to plug your stats in there. It's going to ask for your height, your age, your weight, and probably your body fat percentage as well, but you can most likely leave that blank. Then it's going to spit out your maintenance level. Subtract 500 from that to lose 1 pound a week if you're patient. And if you're impatient and you don't mind losing a tiny bit of muscle, do 1,000 calories deficit every single day. And you're going to be a little bit more hungry for this as well. As far as macros go, this is super just basic across the board stuff here. This is time tested nutrition principles, man. I'm not here to give you a quick fix. I'm here to give you some stuff that's going to help you lose weight, keep it off for the rest of your entire life, and build muscle. 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. I'm going to draw a little target there for you. That looks kind of like a titty. So we're gonna go. There's our target. 1 gram of protein per pound of target body weight. So I started here at 320 pounds. My initial target body weight was 250. So I set my protein at 250 grams. Now, looking back on it, that's probably about what I should have been eating, to be honest with you. I don't think it would have been a good idea for me to set my protein target at right about 200, because in this picture you might not have seen it, but I did have a lot of muscle mass. So keep that in mind. Set it to your target body weight. But if you have over 50 or 60 pounds to lose, then just set it about 50 pounds less than your body weight. The rest is going to be 0.3 grams of fat per pound of target body weight as well. I'm not going to draw another target for you. So that would be right now, I'm right about 200 or so. So right about 60, 65, 70 grams of fat. And then just fill the rest as carbs. For the whole, I understand that it's very popular to be cutting out carbs right now. And what I will say is that is totally valid. You can do that. But I would only say do that if you don't care about the muscle mass. If purely all you care about is seeing a magic number on the scale, then go for that. Because for some people that is easier, genuinely. But I'm going to drink of water. Throat's kind of getting dry. But for people like me, people who care about the actual visual, what I see in the mirror, actually feeling good all of the time, carbs are your best freaking friend, man. Your brain runs off of glucose, and glucose comes from carbs. Now, also when you eat carbs, it's kind of a side tangent. When you eat carbs, your body's going to secrete insulin, okay? And that insulin is going to help drive those carbs and the other nutrients that you eat into your muscles. So when you eat carbs, especially right after a workout, a high proportion of that is going to be stored in your muscles as intramuscular glycogen, which is essentially just intramuscular carbs. And intramuscular just means within the muscle. So do not cut out carbs. Keep your carbs relatively high. Now, for some of you guys, I want to give you guys a little bit of wiggle room because everybody's different. I'm not ignorant to the fact that some people just operate better off a higher fat. If you operate better off of a higher fat diet, then go 0.5 grams of fat per pound of target body weight and then fill the rest as carbs. So some of you guys will genuinely operate better off of more fats. I personally operate the best right here, and this is more the typical time-tested nutrition principles right here. But in my experience working with one-on-one clients and hearing stories and reading articles and educating myself, 0.5 grams of fat is completely fine as well for some people. So just may have to play around with that. If you feel shitty at 0.3 grams of fat per pound of target body weight, up it to 0.5. If you still feel bad, maybe you can up it some more, but then you're running sort of into the keto range. So just be careful about that. Now, this is my exact meal plan of literally exactly what I'm eating right now. This is not a cutting meal plan at all. This is right about 3,000 calories. But I want to give you guys the general outline of how I structure meal plans for myself because I am not somebody who operates good off of every single little thing is planned out. I don't operate like that. I like to have freedom. I like to be able to eat what I want sometimes. But I don't operate well when I have total freedom because then it just turns into me just kind of eating whatever. And that's why I was 320 pounds in the first place, right? So what I do is during the day, so right about till here, I eat what my body needs for my performance, especially since I work out right after work. I work as a software developer and I also do my one-on-one fitness coaching as well. Right before my workout, up until that, I eat what my body needs. So I eat for performance, I eat for fuel. The way that I think about it is like this. I get my macros first. So I'll find macro meals in my fridge that work with 730 calories or so, 700, 750, 800 at the most, 50 grams of protein, 70 carbs, and about 25 fats. I'll find foods like that fit it. Then I'll think, how can I make this tasty? A lot of you guys have this the complete opposite way. You're starting out with what tastes the best? What do I want to eat? And that is the problem. That's why it's keeping you fat because you're not thinking about it as fuel first and then taste. Okay, so that is the true balance here. So I think about this. I'll run you through. For breakfast, I think, what would get me these macros? It's generally eggs, cottage cheese, fruit. I could have protein powder instead of cottage cheese. I could have Greek yogurt. Regardless, this is typically what I go with. So then I think, okay, what's the tastiest way to make this? Well, I like my eggs kind of medium, over medium, I'd say. So I do that in the pan. Then I throw it on top of this cottage cheese and I put a bunch of salt, a bunch of pepper, and I put some sriracha on there as well. And then on the side, I just have 2 oranges and either a banana or an apple, or if I need a bunch of fuel for the workout, I'll do a banana and an apple. So, and I say that because those are my favorite fruit. So this is where it comes together because the macros from that are fantastic. But I love eating that meal because I've optimized it for fuel first and then for taste. For lunch, every single week, my girlfriend and I meal prep all of our lunches. It's the same exact meal for lunch. Every week, we just rotate it. Every week, it's different. But Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we eat the same exact thing for lunch. Makes it so easy because I work from home and I will just go into the kitchen, grab a meal, and just go to town. It makes it so much easier when I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat on lunch. Because then I can spend the rest of my lunch break working with my one-on-one clients. I can take one-on-one calls with my guys. Then as far as pre-workout, now this is quite a rather large pre-workout meal. So I eat this right about 2 hours before I go to the gym. So right about 3 p.m., 2:30 p.m. typically. Again, what do I need? I need a bunch of carbs. I need super low fat, and I need a good amount of protein as well. And in my fridge, I love Greek yogurt. I have a bunch of protein in my whey protein in my pantry, and I love fruit. So then I optimize that. I say, okay, well, I can make all of this fit my macros. Perfect. How do I optimize this for taste? Well, I mix the protein into the Greek yogurt, and it gets you, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's delicious. It's like protein fluff. It is so good. Then I'll throw the frozen blueberries inside of that bowl, and man, that is delicious. Absolutely delicious. It shouldn't taste like that good, really. And then on the side, I'll either have an apple or some pineapple because I just genuinely love fruit. Now, if you don't like fruit, you can do this with rice cakes instead. If you like rice cakes, you can do whatever preferred carb source you have. Now, I want to say to optimize this, you want quick digesting carb sources, which is why I've chosen something like a pineapple or an apple or blueberries, because those will digest quicker and you'll be able to get those cleared out of your digestive system before the workout starts, because you don't want all of your blood tied up in your digestive system when you're working out. Because you want the blood, all of the blood in your body, to be shuttled into your muscles, because it gets not only gets you a better pump and you look good, but it will get you a better workout because you can contract your muscle tissue harder. All right. Now here's where things change. So let me switch my font color here. So for dinner and dessert, now I go into very, very structured freedom. I, my girlfriend and I plan our dinners out in advance. So every night, obviously during the week, it's something different. But it's typically something that is like a protein meal. So for example, last night we had protein chili, absolutely delicious. We have protein crunch wraps, protein enchiladas. Pretty much any normal food, just add the word protein in front of it, and we have that for dinner. These are typically pretty high calorie, though, I will say. So about 800 calories, and I give myself a bunch of carbs, decent amount of fats, and a bunch of protein to eat with that. And generally, it works out to be right about that. Then for dessert, my girlfriend and I love our desserts. We have dessert literally every single night. Even on my cut, I have dessert. I just reduce the amount. Typically, this is about what our desserts go into. So think any normal dessert you could think of, pretty much. Don't don't take me out of context here. But you can just add the word protein in front of it, and that's what I'm having for dessert. Protein cheesecake, protein ice cream, protein brownies. So I'm kind of a hater of the protein brownies sometimes, but still, that is how I structure my diet right there. So up until my workout, I eat what my body needs first, and then I optimize for taste. After that, generally it's kind of 50-50. As far as steps go, 10,000 steps, man, it's just mandatory. It's mandatory. You've heard it before. It works. It works because when you're doing steps at a very low heart rate, your body is almost exclusively going to use your fat stores as fuel. But when you're doing cardio, I'll talk about cardio in a second here. When you're doing cardio at a very high heart rate or a very high intensity, then your body is going to be more inclined to use the glucose that I talked about, which is stored in your muscles, and using your muscles as fuel. And that is not what we want at all. Excuse me. Now, as far as cardio goes, you can count this towards your steps, but if you want to lose fat faster, then do not count this towards your steps. Cardio about 4 times a week. Now, you can do this whenever during the day. I prefer to do this first thing in the morning just because I know once the day starts going, I will not do cardio because my job will start, getting after me a little bit. I'll get stretched out from that. I'll be busy there. And then my one-on-one coaching clients, like I'm working with them all day through my lunch break. And then after work into the night, I'm filming YouTube videos and making Instagram reels. So I know that if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's not going to happen because I have to make time for my priorities. And honestly, it's really good for my mental health as well to do cardio first thing in the morning. So what I do, you can't necessarily see it, but right there, I have my exercise bike. It was like $100 on Amazon. It was super, super cheap. So I would buy one of those or just go to the gym, hit the elliptical. That is probably your best bet for as far as calories burned and having it be fat. Do elliptical, keep your heart rate at right around 120 or 130 beats per minute, and you will be in the fat burning zone, man. You'll be absolutely freaking money. Strength train about 4 times a week. Now, the best way to do this is most likely the upper lower split if you want to focus on your full body. But if you want to focus on your upper body, like 99% of the guys watching this, upper, lower, push, pull. So upper, lower, rest day, push, pull, rest day, rest day. And that's how I would structure it for you. What I'm doing right now is strength training 5 days a week just because I'm at a point where I really like going into the gym. Wasn't always like this. Is I do upper, lower, push, pull, arms. So I am like 100% all into the upper body right now. And it's a little bit tough for me mentally because for years and years I've squatted twice a week. So it's a little bit tough for me mentally right now, but we're getting it done. And my upper body, we're going to be blowing up soon, even more than it already is. I mean, my front delts are just absolutely cooked right now. I'm so sore. but it's a good type of sore. It's a good pain, maybe as they say. So, man, all of this, that's how you make sure that you're losing fat and not muscle. Because when you eat like this, you don't have to structure your day like this. This is just an option for you. You get your steps so you're burning fat when you're walking. Do cardio at a moderate pace. Don't gas yourself out. And then you strength train. Your body's going to want to hold on to that muscle and burn fat. So, I know that's a lot, and chances are you knew a good amount of that. And the reason that you haven't lost the weight so far, and the reason that you're not where you want to be, is because you're not holding yourself to a higher standard. What I've realized with this and making my own transformation of losing 120 pounds, it's not about knowing the knowledge, it's about holding yourself to apply the knowledge. And this is why I offer one-on-one coaching. It's not because I think you guys are stupid and you don't know how to track your calories. It's because I am going to hold you to a standard that you cannot hold to yourself right now. This transformation is all about identity. These are two different people right here. And sure, eating like the macros, right? Sorry about that, hit the mic. Will get you down to a lower body weight, but changing your identity, changing your habits, and raising your standards will keep it off for life and ensure that you are always progressing. And it will affect into every other area of your life. Once you raise your standards with your fitness, you will start making more money. I'm not going to disclose how that has worked out for me exactly, but I've leveled up from a web developer to a generative AI trainer to now a software developer, and I run my own coaching business because I got in shape. Not because people like love that I have abs. It doesn't matter, and nobody knows that I have abs. But because I have so much more energy. I don't wake up and first thing I do is hit the snooze button. I wake up at 6 a.m. every weekday, get out of bed, rip my cardio, and we're going. That's the standards that I hold for myself. That is the identity that I have. I am somebody who's in shape. And if you're stuck right now and you're plateaued, it's not because you don't know the macros to eat. It's not because you don't know the steps or the cardio. It's because you're not holding yourself to the higher standard that you need to hold. And that's what the one-on-one coaching is for. So if you want to have me hold you to that higher standard, you want to change your life, not just change your macros in MyFitnessPal, apply for one-on-one coaching in the description and let's run it up, man, because I'll get you exactly where you want to go. Peace.